Hello and we welcome our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Prime, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. On the news, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, PEPT, has struck out the evidence of 10 out of the 13 witnesses called by Peter Obi and the Labour Party LP in support of their petition against the election of President Bola Tinubu. In a judgment delivered today, September 6, the court held that the witnesses who were subpoenaed at the instance of the petitioner had their written statements which contained their evidence were not filed along or front-loaded with the petition within the 21 days allowed by the Electoral Act 2022. We'll bring you more details on this on our subsequent bulletin. Also, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended Indian investors for significant investment pledges amounting to nearly $14 billion US dollars committed during the Nigeria-Indian Presidential Roundtable and Conference in New Delhi, India, saying Nigeria is ready to give them the best returns for the investment possible. There is nowhere else like Nigeria. Judith Peters has the details. The president also approved the finalization of a new $1 billion US dollar agreement to bring the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria to 40% self-sufficiency in the local manufacturing and production of defense equipment in the country by 2027 through a comprehensive new partnership with the managing arm of the military-industrial complex of the Indian government, emphasizing that under his pragmatic leadership, agreement was now manifest in industries and jobs on the ground in Nigeria. President Tinubu expressed gratitude to all Indian companies and individuals who have responded positively to his administration's efforts to improve Nigeria's macroeconomic and investment climate.
It is in your hand, and I promise you, just don't keep quiet. Don't procrastinate. Don't be frightened about investment in Nigeria. Bring it home. Ask your questions. Make your requests. The trade and investment opportunity is enormous. I have a team, and I am the captain of that team. I assure you, we solve problems.
On behalf of investors, the chairman of Bharti Enterprises, Sunil Bharti Mittal, told the president Nigeria has unified the FX market and freed up crucial capital to upgrade its public infrastructure. He says the investors will bring investment to Nigeria, and with President Tinubu's inspiring leadership style, they can only do more and more.
Deeply touched by your openness, by your invitation to call Indian businessmen to set up businesses in Nigeria. Importantly, to tell them that you are there to listen to their problems and that you, as the captain of the country, will resolve those issues for the benefit of all Nigerians as well as the investors.
Also at the event, Nigeria's Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosu Tijani, and his counterpart from India's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology signed a memorandum of understanding for cooperation in the field of sharing successful digital solutions to be implemented at total population scale for digital transformation. President Tinubu further assured investors to finalize on the next steps to ensure that no environmental encumbrance stands in the way of their success in Nigeria. Still the news on Global Television. The Presidential Election Petition Court has dismissed the suit of the Allied People's Movement, APM, seeking to nullify President Tinubu's election. The court, in its ruling delivered in Abuja on Wednesday, dismissed the petition for lacking in merit and being incompetent. Chairman of the panel, Justice Haruna Zamani, who read the judgment, held that the prayer the APM raised in its petition contained pre-election matters that could only be determined by the Federal High Court. Sandra Akbar completes the report.
The court further upheld the preliminary objections of the respondents who challenged the competence of the suit. The tribunal also dismissed the APM petition against the Independent National Electoral Commission and 4 others. Listed as first to fifth respondents are INEC, All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, Kashim Shettima, and Kabir Masari. The tribunal ruled on each of the arguments put forward by APM.
That occurred within the pre-election period, therefore, cannot amount to any act done by the faithful respondent at the election. It cannot therefore ground any complaint by the petitioner against the faithful respondent in an election petition. It may be relevant in a pre-election matter, but not in an election petition. It is therefore my finding that there is no any claim on the faithful respondent. In other words, the relief sought in the petition will not in any way affect the faithful respondent, as he did not participate in the petition either as a candidate or agent of the second respondent, and no declaration was made in his favor by the first respondent. In that respect, I hold that the objection of the first respondent on this ground has merit. Accordingly, I order that the name of the first respondent.
Samani said the petitioners failed to prove their arguments and the petition was void of merit. The judgment also upheld preliminary objections raised by all the respondents to challenge the competence of the petition. Sandra Akpa for Global TV.
Thank you very much, Sandra Akpa, for that report. The Presidential Election Petition Court on Wednesday struck out some paragraphs containing allegations of irregularities and corrupt practices by Mr. Peter Obi in his petition challenging the declaration of Bola Tinubu as winner of the February 25th presidential election. The 5-member panel struck out the affected paragraphs on the grounds that they were vague in practice, imprecise value, and failed to meet the requirements of pleadings. According to the ruling, in a case of alleged malpractices in over 500 polling units, it does not suffice for the petitioner to say some polling units or collection centers without being specific. Justice Muhammad further faulted the petitioner for relying on a spreadsheet analysis, inspection results, and expert reports. According to Muhammad, such documents are to be served on the respondent to enable them to do their analysis and respond accordingly. And now the Kogi State Election Petitions Tribunal has declared Natasha Akpoti-Nduagan of the People's Democratic Party as the winner of the Kogi Central Senatorial election held in February. It also invalidated the victory of Senator Abubakar Oheri of the All Progressive Congress. The tribunal chairman, Justice K.O. Ojiako, delivered the unanimous judgment of the 3-man panel, revealing that Senator Oheri's results were inflated in 9 polling units in the Ajokuta local government area. He added that the Independent National Electoral Commission reduced Natasha's results in those areas and omitted the results of 3 other polling units meant for Natasha in the same local government area. A major division between the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, has held to partial compliance in the 2-day warning strike declared by Nigerian workers about the delay in the implementation of the palliative announced by the federal government to cushion the effect of its removal of fuel subsidy. Across the state of the Federation, the TUC and NLC took position on the strike, which is slated to continue today. The TUC said it's supposed to strike because it will not yield the desired result. Its chairman across Rivers State, Comrade Monday Ogbodu, condemned a 2-day warning strike embarked upon by leadership of NLC, describing the leadership of NLC as insensitive. Also, the federal government has said it will be engaging terminal operators for the rehabilitation of the $800 million, an equivalent of 593 billion naira. Port of Apapa, Tinkan, and others. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyitola, said this on Monday when he was led on a familiarization visit to Apapa and Tinkan Island ports by the Managing Director of the Nigeria Ports Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, and his management team. However, reacting to this, Oyitola said the port was almost collapsing, adding that their reconstruction would commence soon. Now, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria found on Wednesday has assured the public of safety following a minor electrical fault at the old terminal of the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos. In a press statement, the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Yakubu Funtua, said suspected electrical spark at the baggage hold ceiling caused a smoke incident resulting in a fire scare. Prompt responses from the aerodrome, rescue and firefighting services of the airport and the electrical department of the authority saved the situation. Yakubu Funtua, however, stated that the situation had been put under control. The ADHOC committee, constituted by the House of Representatives to investigate the activities of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority since its inception, has held the management of the NSIA over its intervention in the healthcare sector. The members of the committee commended the NSIA during an oversight visit at the NSIA Lute Cancer Center in Lagos on Monday. The visit was for the members of the committee to inspect and review the project undertaken by the NSIA and their impact on the Nigerian economy, adding that the key areas of focus were healthcare infrastructure and agriculture. As a result, the NSIA Healthcare Development Investment Company was established to catalyze private sector investment to address the infrastructure gaps in the healthcare sector, improve manpower, and forward strategic collaboration to advance healthcare indicators in the country. Also, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, says Nigeria is respected globally on account of President Bola Tinubu's stand for the ideals of democracy. In a statement on Tuesday, Idris said, as chair of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Tinubu has raised the profile of Nigeria by prompting the rule of law and seeking to reverse the toppling of a democratic government in neighboring Niger Republic. Meanwhile, signs of discontent within the Nigerian armed forces and mountain soldiers, both non-commissioned officers and officers, do not feel supported or protected by the junta's generals. The non-commissioned soldiers are believed to be more concerned with protecting their financial interests and their already shaky footing in power than with defending the interests of their subordinates. No longer listening to their men, the junta is alleged to be increasingly isolated with popular anger rebels. You're watching Global TV's News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using a Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. When the News Prime returns, CBN repays banks next week. Naira may rebound as Apis Bank clears dollars debt. We'll have details of this and other stories for you right after this break. Please don't go nowhere. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, the Still Global Television bring you live broadcast of the News Prime from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Flooding caused by heavy rain has led to at least 10 deaths in Bulgaria, Turkey and Greece. In Bulgaria, pictures from the Sarajevo area show fast-forward moving flood water deep enough to submerge cars. Rivers overflowed and authorities were working to evacuate tourists from a campsite at Arapia just outside Sarajevo. A bridge collapsed south of the town, and there were reports that 3 people who had been on it at the time were missing. Environment Minister Jolan Popov said Bulgaria would have to expect more serious and more frequent rainfall in the future because of climate change. Water cascaded through the streets in Turkey's biggest city, Istanbul, washing away cars and trapping people in a local library. A building collapsed on Wednesday, killing 4 Egyptians from the same family in a Cairo neighborhood where a similar tragedy occurred earlier this summer. 5 people were also injured when the 4-story building fell in a street in the working-class Adarek Al-Quabas district. Several structures have collapsed in recent years in Egypt, leaving numerous victims because of their dilapidated condition as well as lack of respect for planning laws. Still on the foreign scene, Ukrainian lawmakers on Wednesday approved President Volodymyr Zelensky's nomination of Rustem Umerov, a Crimean Tatar, as Kyiv new defense minister after the resignation of Oleksiy Renyuskov. The 41-year-old appointment marks a significant change for Ukraine more than a year and a half into Russia's invasion and follows corruption scandals in the defense ministry. Zelensky nominated Umerov for the role, calling for new approaches in Ukraine's defense ministry. Also, the acting governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Folashodun Shinobi, has said the Apis Bank will repay banks all outstanding forward contract debt in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Although he did not disclose the total amount of the outstanding dollar debt, a report by JP Morgan, a United States-based bank, in a recent report put the total amount of forward contract debt owned by the CBN at $6.84 billion. Shinobi, who spoke in Lagos, said there is no outstanding $7 billion as claimed by JP Morgan. It was just their opinion that was put on paper, and many people jumped on it. Shinobi, while reaffirming the CBN's ongoing intervention in the market, emphasized its commitment to stabilizing exchange rate despite contributing less than 25% of the market volume. And in sports, Sunday's African Cup of Nations qualifier against Sao Tome and Principe at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, will be Jose Peseira's 10th game as Super Eagles head coach, over a year after he took charge of the team. The Portuguese tactician took up his role as the Eagles coach following his resignation as Venezuela manager in 2021. The Nigeria Football Federation announced the appointment of Peseiro as the new coach of the Super Eagles May 15, 2022, replacing Austin Guevon, who returned to his technical director role at the Federation. For more updates on sports, let's now join Sharon Ajay.
Team Nigerians weightlifters departed Nigeria yesterday for the 2023 International Weightlifting Federation (IWF) Championship in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, after being in camp for 2 months. The lifters comprise of 4 females and 2 males who would be representing the country to feature in the World Championship from 4th to 7th September 2023. The head coach of Nigerian Weightlifting Federation (NWF), Ojadi Aduche, said that the championship would serve as a qualifier for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, France. Elsewhere, former World 100-meter hurdles champion Tobi Amusan and 400 meters hurdler Ezekiel Nathaniel have secured their spot at next year's Olympic Games in Paris, France. Last December, World Athletics had revealed the pathway to qualify for the athletics at Paris 2024, including the entry standard athletes will need to achieve. Amusan is the first Nigerian to secure a place at the Games, subject to confirmation at Nigerians Championship in 2024. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you very much, Sharon Ajay. And this is where we'll call it a wrap on the Global TV News Prime, live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes Channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the duty editor and also the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you again.